I'm Little Ed.
I'm Dr. John.
I'm back.
And he's back finally from freaking Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So
from freezing hell.
New show, and we're on, and we're on, and
Dr. John.
we're on Rumble, and we're on YouTube. Watch us on Rumble, like us, share us. What do they call that? Follow us. We want you to follow us on Rumble, like us, and share us on YouTube.
Right on.
Follow us on YouTube. We really need your help.
Ed drjohn@gmail.com. Any suggestions, complaints, death threats, whatever? Do this in.
It's good to be back.
It is good to be back. I've been training.
Season 2. I told you we weren't done.
I'm officially a truck driver now.
Yeah, as a truck driver, imagine that shit.
Well, I got a truck driver beard going.
You know, we don't have time to go over everything that has happened since you've been gone. And I had Andre and
yeah, I seen the Andre episode. I seen the
Frank.
Frank, yeah, that was a cool episode. I like that one.
Yeah, I had Mike West too, but I was kind of out of it, so I didn't put Mike West second time on.
Right.
I got goofy because I got this stuff going on. So
well,
I'm goofy tonight.
He's got stuff going on. Plus, he's goofy. Don't.
I'm goofier than I was goofy before. See how goofy I am.
Basically, what we're doing tonight is we're going to counteract some of this Trump derangement.
Can you believe all this bullshit?
Like the hands off. That must have cost George Soros a fucking
hands
fortune.
off.
You know what I mean? I mean, how many people? And I swear, there probably was.
You know who made a lot of money?
Who?
The bus companies.
Oh, yeah.
They made a shit ton bringing all them people to those
you
protests.
Ain't kidding. They had to go to every probably care center in Philadelphia.
I bet you couldn't even get a bus.
There probably wasn't anybody at mealtime at any retirement center on the East Coast that day.
Yeah, they're dragging all these old ass white people in there and they're acting like they're pissed off.
Giving them signs, all these professionally made signs, and then they would ask them, so what are you pissed off about? And they'd be like, well, you know.
Did you see like the Chinese kid or whatever he was? He's holding this sign and he says, so what are you protesting? He says, Trump. And he smiles and he says, where'd you get the sign? He says, oh, you get them over there, they have them. He says, they give them to you and you hold it.
Right.
Oh, they had them ready for you? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What don't you like about Donald Trump? I don't like him. He didn't have a clue what he's protesting.
My favorite one is
like, get his $100.
He's destroying democracy, and the reporter guy goes, well, what democracy is he destroying? He goes, American democracy. He goes, well, we're actually a constitutional republic. North Korea, though, that's a democracy.
And good, let him destroy that, right?
These guys are
they're killing me.
I call them delusional dipshits because they basically are controlled by their programming on their TV. They can't even think for themselves anymore.
The old-ass white women are the worst now.
Right.
The middle-aged and old white women are like, and now they're getting the old white dudes with dementia. That don't really know what they're doing, but they just hold this sign and scream and yell and go, ah, and say, I hate Trump.
Shelley brought up a good one where the guy, she's like, I'm for women's rights and equal rights, and the reporter goes, well, what is a woman? And she's like,
none of your business, that's what it is.
Well, you know, Trump derangement syndrome is a real thing, John. I mean,
now we have Elon derangement syndrome, too.
Which is funny, because a year ago, he was the darling of the Democratic Party.
Does that make any sense? Because listen, 6 months ago, he was their dude because he's the electric car. He's saving the environment. We're doing everything good. Everybody loves to get you a Tesla and be good, be green, save the environment. Now you're an asshole.
Well, 10 years ago, Donald Trump was the darling of the Democrat Party. He gave to them.
But how does that work in your mind that the same guy that was your savior of the environment is now your
well, he still is, John. He's still building electric cars. He's still shooting rockets into space. He's still Elon Musk. He's making people with brain damage function again with his brain implants that he's been developing. Well, all right, so I realize that it isn't Elon Musk himself that does all this stuff, but he is part of the program, part of developing this stuff.
He's a strange guy.
He's got scientists and doctors and everybody involved. I mean, he's not some mad scientist that does all this on his own.
He's kind of strange.
Well, I believe he's got
some
kind of affliction, like I forget what it's called actually. like, it's not autism, but it's something like that. But who cares? I mean, the man's a super genius. He's smart. He's very smart. And, last year...
Somebody is. He's doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah, he might not be the smartest guy in his group, but he's got enough money to pay the smartest guys.
And I liked it. You guys didn't probably see this one where they went into the... what department was that? They were racing all the files. Oh, they raced thousands and thousands and thousands of files.
Oh, right. That's all of them, because anything where Doge...
And Elon said, well, yeah, they erased all the files, he said, but they're not very smart technology-wise. He goes, because we found them all.
We found them all. We got them. Oh, they got them by the short hairs here, John. And I think we're going to... I know you're a little speculative about it, but I think we're going to start seeing some of these people...
Yeah, when's something going to happen?
Well, we're still... What is it?
It's time, Trump. Elon, it's time.
We're 4 months.
We need some people on the carpet.
We're not even 4 months into the Trump
I don't care. We need some damn people on the carpet. People getting tired of this bullshit.
Well, these guys are hanging themselves
What if it was
out.
you?
Huh?
What if it was you?
Oh, well, I'm just a nobody. They'd have hung me high and put me under the
I would be in jail immediately.
Absolutely.
This is bullshit, and people need to be on the carpet.
But they
need to be called in. We need some arrests made and some indictments made, and this is...
And you know who the guilty parties is. They're the ones that are screaming the loudest. They're the ones that stand up there and
Cory
for
Booker
24
hours. Yeah, what an asshole.
That guy's such a dipshit. This guy's been the mayor of Newark, New Jersey. He's been a senator or a congressman. I don't even know what he is. I know he's just... Ever since his Spartacus moment, anybody that even thinks that this guy's got to have a brain,
he's a UP.
You're a dipshit. It's just simple as that.
He's a UP, Ed.
A what?
UP.
What's that?
That's a useless politician.
I was going to go somewhere else.
That's easier to say. He's just a UP.
But we're back to Cory Booker, his 24-hour, 15-minute speech. He's like, and I beat Strom Thurmond, who was a Democrat, racist Klansman.
It was in there. He was like 100.
Who did the same thing, basically to filibuster a civil rights bill that was that the Republicans, mind you, had brought to the floor. Kind of the same thing with Cory Booker did.
The Democrats were trying to get rid of the filibuster.
Right.
Well, then they turn around and do it.
Right. Well, they're the most two-faced people. Listen, back in 2016, 2018, Adam Schiff was saying, I think President Trump should be charged by the Justice Department, blah, blah, blah. And the minute that he was elected, he's like, okay. I don't think the president should be chasing people on charge.
All right, we got to do this real quick, Ed.
What's that?
Chuck Schumer.
Yeah, Chucky. I did work hard for my damn money. I am sick of the government trying to take it every time they got their hand out. They want it for this, they want it for that. You're criticizing hard-working American people that created their own businesses and got jobs, and you're telling me that I'm supposed to be happy about you putting your hand... Suck my... Chuck, you're worthless. You're a piece of shit. Okay. I hope you see this. Probably.
Enough already on Chuck Schumer. We don't want to hurt his feelings.
I don't care about him.
Yeah, Chuck. Yeah, Chuck.
Telling us that the American people, that's what they say. They started their own business. They worked hard and they deserve to keep their money, and government should stay out of it.
Oh, I agree.
Pissed me off.
I totally agree.
What an asshole. There you go, Chuck.
Yeah, well, he's a two-faced piece of shit anyway. But
he's going down.
He's not even the leader of the party anymore. You got Cory Booker up, with his 24-hour Spartacus moment, or AOC, who, she says
she's running for president.
I think she's had 3 coherent sentences her entire.
But they got a new star, Jasmine Crockett.
Oh my God.
Jasmine Crockett.
Okay, guys.
She's a new Democrat star.
I know she sounds like she's from the hood. She's not.
Hey, y'all, have we done picking cotton? I'm telling you right now, we ain't picking no more cotton.
Just so y'all know, that bitch went to a private school. She grew up.
She ain't gonna pick no more cotton.
She ain't never picked cotton, dude. She went to a private school.
She's all over hanging off her eyelashes as she tried to pick any cotton.
Just like
She'll
AOC.
be able to see. Cotton hanging all over her eyelashes. I can't see because I'm picking this cotton.
Oh my God. Jasmine needs a prescription, by the way, because she's got a case of the asses. She's really a total ass.
She's the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
Every time she opens her mouth, she makes an ass of herself, and then the dipshits in the Democrat Party are like, oh, she's awesome.
Yeah, she's awesome.
But
talks that ghetto.
It's been so long.
Thinks she's going to get somewhere.
Oddly enough, the only Democrat that I really see that it makes any sense is the guy that had the stroke.
Yeah, that guy from Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I'll think of his name here in a minute. But
Yeah, and they don't like him.
No, they can't
They're
stand
like,
him.
why'd we get this guy? We thought he's going to be a dumb oaf with a stroke and not say nothing.
He's going to be. He's probably going to end up a Republican or an independent.
What is his name?
I'll look it up real quick.
Yeah,
here,
big bald guy that
he's
wears
cool.
sweatshirt all the time.
Right, and then wears shorts to the
The shorts, yeah, they're like, don't you know how to dress? Well, I don't care if he dresses because he's the only one that he's like, he tells it, he may not vote all the way on things the way I like it, but he tells the truth.
Well, I like he's.
Well, I think he's too dumb to lie.
As his brain heals, he makes more and more sense. I think he's
John Fetterman.
John Fetterman. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, he's actually he makes more sense of the whole Democrat Party, and he's had a stroke and had brain damage.
Right.
And he's outdoing them. Now, what's that tell you?
Well, and he talks about President Trump and some of the things Trump's doing. That's pretty cool. That's good for America, and they don't like to hear that.
We don't hate him. He don't have Trump derangement syndrome. He don't agree with everything Trump says, but he does it the right way.
Right.
Well, and he talks, and he makes sense. They're just ballistic, and they're so full of that TDS.
And he doesn't go along with the media narrative. They'll try to get him to talk the talking points or the buzzwords, and he just won't follow along. He's a pretty smart guy. That's the only Democrat that I can think of off the top of my head that even,
I don't even really know if he's that smart. I just think he's honest.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Maybe
his brain, he can't connive all this crap up, and he hears it, and he just tells it how he hears it and how he sees it, and he has a little bit more morals than the rest of these evil ass bastards.
And they ridicule the hell out of the poor guy, and it hurts him too. That his own party ridicules him and talks down to him the way he does. But he still stays fast. He keeps his beliefs and what he feels is right. And it doesn't let it change him.
He'll be Republican pretty soon.
Yeah, I have a feeling. Look how many Democrats have come over.
He will be. They'll be saying, "Why don't you come over to the Republican
When we first
Party?"
started doing this show, John, we talked about RFK and Tulsi Gabbard being the sane voices of the Democrat Party. Look where they're at now. You know what I mean?
Now the Republicans.
They're not even Democrats anymore.
That's because they actually had some brain power.
Right. Oh yeah.
These Democrats don't have no brain power at all. All they know is one thing: is I hate Trump. We're going to lie.
Yep.
And what I really love is Adam Schiff. He's doing it now. Oh, Trump's, he knew that the stock market was going to go, and he made a bunch of money about stocks because he set this up and he did it. And now we need to prosecute him because he's doing insider trading. I'm thinking, and he's carrying on about us. I said, damn, here we go again. Adam Schiff is telling me everything that the Democrats have done, and now they're going to try and blame somebody else for it.
Because they've tried everything they can do.
All they've done is said what they've been doing, and they're trying to blame other people for it. They're going, this and this and this happened. I'm thinking, no, that's what you did. And now you're trying to blame them. And then this and this and this happened. I'm going, no, that's another thing that you guys did, and now you're trying to blame them.
That's always been the Marxist way, to accuse your opponent what you're doing.
And that's all they've been doing because they got nothing.
Yep.
And they're self-destructing. They're panicking.
Well, they're exposing themselves for what they.
I love it.
They have
but you got to pay attention. See that they're doing it, Ed. People ain't paying attention.
They actually have like one of the lowest approval ratings of in the history of the Democratic Party. I think they're down like
21%.
Yeah, I think that they're right down there like with the Klansmen for popularity. Which I got to remind everybody, the Ku Klux Klan, they were Democrats.
That might be their supporters. It might just be Klansmen.
But you still got people who's like, oh, but they suck and they're this, but they're not Trump.
Okay, here's time for a rant.
Oh man,
What you looking up?
Oh, nothing. I'll get back to it. Let's do the rant.
Okay.
Enough already.
If you hate Trump, you can hate Trump. These Trump haters. If you're going to hate Trump, okay.
Yeah.
So
you should do it privately.
First of all, do it privately. Second of all, learn how to dress. Third of all, learn how to talk.
Right.
And when somebody asks you a question, don't say, "Oh, I hate Trump," because that's not the answer. They ask you something else, but for some reason you just keep wanting to say, "Well, I hate Trump."
Right. They have no reason why. They have no idea why they hate Trump. Their TV told them to.
If you hate Trump, don't put a sign in your front yard say,
is he dead yet if you're head of the Democratic chair of Ashland County? Because
Exactly.
that's not going to work.
Who's now famous, pretty much. I think that kind of went viral.
I think she's going famous, but I don't know.
I think she probably should lose her job.
Is he dead yet? The sign right beside it says Democrats, and it goes, is he dead yet?
I'd like to be interested in see if the Secret Service gives her a call.
Well,
You know what
somebody
I
said
mean?
they're going to report her to the FBI.
Listen, I had a friend set 6 years in jail because he wrote Jimmy Carter a letter, that wasn't a good letter, but he had to go to jail for it. I don't see why
If you're a
she's
Trump
not.
hater, you really, so goes to that.
Really should refrain for calling for the assassination of a president. I mean, it's not really working.
And stay away from interviews and cameras because you guys just make fools of yourselves. I mean, even the important people like Bill Maher.
Yeah.
Bill Maher,
If you're a Trump hater, your lipstick goes on your lips, not on your eyebrows. Okay? Because I've seen enough of that. No more lipstick here on your lips.
and we can easily see that you're a Trump hater if you're a male wearing a dress.
Obvious, we know this.
And
Okay?
anybody with purple hair,
If you come up and you're a dude with a beard and a dress, we know you're going to hate Trump. You don't have to refer and tell us. We already got it.
we got it. Yep, we don't even have
We're
to
not going to ask you that question. Trust me. I'm not going to ask you your name
Crazy.
because I'm not sure how to respond.
Yep, but if you are going to hate Trump, make sure you collect that $100 that George Soros gives you to go hold a sign up so the
Exactly.
public can watch you and catch your bus. Make sure you're on time for the bus. The bus is free, by the way. You just got to be there on time. And if you're in a senior citizen complex somewhere, I'm sure the bus shows up right outside your door.
If you're a Trump hater, don't get drunk in the bar and blab all the information out about how you got bussed in. To somebody that's going to tell on you.
And if you're a Trump hater and you're going to tell that you're there because you're afraid about women's rights, you should probably know what a woman is.
Yeah, if you're a Trump hater, find out what a woman is before you bitch about women's rights.
Right now, mate. I don't know what the fuck. It's just every time you turn around, these guys. I mean, I can't rant about it no more because it's just too stupid. These people are just so stupid. I call them dumbfounded dipshits for a reason. I don't understand why I'm not getting suspended from Facebook because I am so not nice to anybody anymore on there. And it's like I used to get suspended for calling people dumb. And now I'm calling them all kinds of stuff.
The thing is,
Most
if
of them aren't even American.
you don't like Trump and you don't want to be president and you don't agree, that's fine. But quit with all the bullshit. In the old days, you didn't have to like everybody, and you don't have to like him. But this masquerading and raiding around, and then because of Elon and burning cars up and destroying property, what do you think that is actually solving?
Well, Elon only actually owns 12% of Tesla.
Yeah.
He's basically just a shareholder.
But-
But he is the face of Tesla. He created the company.
Most of the people that drive those Teslas were on their side,
Right.
the left side, because
Absolutely.
they're trying to save the planet.
Yeah.
And I would guarantee, I bet you 80% of the people that own electric cars are environmentally conscious.
Right? Oh, yeah.
They're trying to save the planet,
Got
and you guys
solar
are out there
panels at home,
screwing their
that kind of
cars
stuff.
up, and they're on your side.
Right. But on the good side, though, John, if you are a white supremacist and want to ride around with a Nazi symbol on your car,
Now it's cool.
Now you can get away.
You're
with it.
allowed to, yeah, if you want to ride. So you white supremacists, you want to
Right.
ride.
Go
I'm
buy a
not-
Tesla.
I'm not really cool with that.
I'm not cool with it either, but I'm just saying you could get away with it now.
Well-
now you'd be accepted on the party that really loves you.
Well, yeah, I could just pull up and say, "Look at what I got." They go, "Yeah, get your go buy your cyber truck, put swastikas all over it, cruise up into the protest, and go, look at me," and they'll go, "Yeah,
yeah,
you are cool." And
they'll
they go,
celebrate
you'd
you.
be like, "They don't know I'm a white supremacist."
They wouldn't care. They would as long as you hate Trump as much as they do, they wouldn't care. I mean, they're just.
Well, you can just pretend.
And I'm so tired of everybody saying, "Well, he didn't win by a landslide. He didn't win by a mandate."
Oh, bullshit.
He won every swing state. 89% of the counties in this country went to the right. He improved his numbers in white women. He improved his numbers in Latinos. He improved his numbers in
As
blacks.
I said, 21% of the population right now has got the biggest mouth.
Right.
Because that's what approval rating the Democrats have.
Right.
And they're making the most noise, got the biggest damn mouth, 20%.
Well, they still control all the media. They still control all the social medias, and I mean, like I said, you can't get on Facebook. There's nothing positive about Donald Trump on Facebook.
80% of the people that aren't approving a Democrat, you need to start getting more vocal and putting these people in their place and letting them know, hey, you're not running over me. You're not going to bully me and badass me. I ain't scared of you.
Meanwhile,
shut
John,
up.
Meanwhile, John,
And not be violent, but shut up. I don't want to hear you.
oil prices are at a 4-year low.
Yeah, oil went down $60
I ain't seen
a
it yet.
barrel.
Well, you're going to have to wait for it to trickle
Well, just
down.
happened the other day, a couple
Right.
days ago.
The job market has doubled the job creation that was predicted. You know what I mean? And it's
And
like,
the stock market went up 2,000 points today,
Right, well,
which was crashing according to them.
well, that's because Donald Trump used that to buy a bunch of stock.
Oh, that's because
cheap.
Donald Trump bought like $10 billion worth of stock
right.
today.
Yeah, no, whatever. I don't think he's even allowed to do that as a president. I don't think they should be allowed to do that as a senator, right, Nancy?
I don't think that they should be able to buy stock. You know what else I don't think, which I don't like, is like this Enan Umar, this Rashida Tlaib. I don't think that anybody in our federal government, like our House or our Senate, should be a foreign person that moved here and then became a citizen and within a year
Agreed.
runs for office and gets in our, because
Agreed.
those are people from foreign countries infiltrating our government that I don't know where their loyalty is yet because they've been here for 6
No,
months.
their loyalty is exactly where Obama wanted it to be.
Yeah.
Because that's where these people came from.
You
Obama,
got to be a natural-born citizen to be in the House, to be in the Senate, or to be the president. Any of our federal type.
right, I agree.
If you want to be in a local
They're
township or whatever, I don't give a shit.
They're basically taking advantage of our own voting rules and regulations.
Well, yeah.
And how they do it is
Move 500,000 Somalians into
Exactly,
one area and then have
exactly.
somebody running and vote them in because Obama moved them
Well,
in
it's
like he did in
happening
Minnesota.
It's happening in northern Michigan. They've put all these.
They moved all these Muslims in and now, bam, they're going to have.
Well, they've ran out the Amish.
Yeah.
They've taken over all the town councils and the commissioner seats and everything, and condemned the Amish houses because they don't have indoor plumbing or they don't have electricity or whatever excuse they can have to steal their land and force them out.
Most of the houses in Detroit don't have electric or plumbing.
Or people that live in Detroit used to be a city of 7 million people, and I don't think there's still a
But we
million
got to have
people
some
in there now.
reform on that stuff, We don't need these people in our government.
No, I agree.
Get the hell out of here.
But there's been so much job creation and companies that left America that have come back just in the first 4 months of this administration. And, we're too busy arranging people to show up on hands off my Social Security, which the only thing they're trying to do is save your Social Security.
Let me tell you something. They're not going to cut your Social Security.
Or your
They're not
food stamps.
cutting your Medicare and Medicaid. They're not cutting none of that stuff. They're trying to make it better. They're trying to cut down the waste on it. They're not trying to steal it from you. And what does a man that's got $340 billion want with your money?
Nothing. I mean, it's just a talking point, John. These guys have nothing else to talk. They don't want to celebrate successes because it's part of the Trump.
And I keep hearing, he's just doing it for the billionaires. George Soros is a billionaire, supports the Democratic Party. There's another Bezos, Democrat. Who else?
Well, all of them.
Most of the Democrat donors are all billionaires are backing the Democratic
Right.
Party. There's just a few billionaires that are Republicans, and they're outcast, and they're going, his billionaire friends.
Well,
They're not stacking the deck for them.
Even Elon was, he was
a
never
Democrat.
mentioned when he was a Democrat.
So was Trump at one time.
Right. But, if you think about it, Bernie Sanders used to complain about millionaires and billionaires until he became a millionaire.
Oprah loved Trump when he said he's going to be for president because she thought he'd run as a Democrat. And then when he ran as a Republican, they pissed everybody off.
Well, he even said on Oprah's show that if he ran for president, he'd run as a Republican back in the 90s. You know what I mean? But no one ever thought he would. But it got, and he even said if it gets too bad, he's going to have to. Well, apparently after the Obama administration, it got bad enough, and it did, because we came pretty close to losing this country, and then we had another 4 years of Obama with President Autopen.
Yeah, but don't believe all the bullshit they're trying to say because they're making the lies up so fast you can't keep track of them.
Right, and that's
all lies.
And that's another problem with them. These guys can't stay on one topic long enough to get their point across on anything. And they just spent a whole weekend with their hands off our Social Security bullshit, which isn't even happening.
No.
It's not even happening. The only people that are losing their Social Security are the 180-year-olds.
I see Neil Woman, the guy was in an interview. He says, people over 120 years old on Social Security rolls, and she's going, that's a lie.
Right.
What?
Just because they're on there don't mean they're getting money. Okay, well, maybe not all of them are, but why are they on there?
Right.
Why are they even on there?
Why are they on it? Why are there people getting multiple paychecks from Social Security? You know, how are they doing that? Why are they doing that?
And did you see how the scam that they're doing with the illegals? This is happening, that they brought them over and immediately give them Social Security numbers.
Right, exactly.
Immediately Biden give them all Social Security numbers. That gets them in so they can get all this free stuff. Plus, they're voting.
Yep. I also,
Because they got a Social Security
my other
card.
favorite is there's no transparency. This is by far the most transparent administration you've ever seen since the last Trump administration, and Doge in particular. You know,
I think it's even more transparent.
we don't know what they're. Oh, I agree. We don't know what Doge is doing. Well, there's a website you can go to, and you can see exactly every single thing that they've discovered and found, and how much money they've discovered that are going to, Sesame Street in Iraq, or trans studies in Guatemala, or just stupid shit that we shouldn't be paying for. Period.
But take like ABC News, NBC News, CBS News, CNBC, CNN,
Now you got these circuit judges that are thinking that they can dictate federal policy.
Quit watching all these news stations because they're all lying. They're all leaning they all hate Trump. They're all making up bullshit.
John, what do you think about the guy that was accidentally sent to El Salvador?
First of all, he was an MS-13 gang leader. No, I don't care if he wasn't, but that man's murdered people. He's done all kinds of shit. He was still involved in human trafficking. He was in drug stuff.
Well, according to the left-wing media, John, he was an angel.
And here's the thing.
He had a halo and everything.
And they made up this bullshit lie. Well, they sent this guy, and now they won't send him back, and we can't get him back, and it was wrong. That's bullshit. Have you heard anything so stupid?
Nope.
If you made a mistake and you sent somebody they shouldn't be, where they shouldn't be, then you go, well, El Salvador isn't going to let him loose, and we can't get him back. I never heard anything so stupid in my life. Because if that was the case, it would be no problem flying over, walking over and getting that man and bringing him back. Don't give me this bullshit El Salvador ain't letting him loose.
Here's something even more
That's a
stupid.
lie.
We're next. They're going to start doing that to American citizens next. If they could do it to that guy from El Salvador, they could do it to you.
First of all, second of all, he was still illegal.
He got no due process. He didn't deserve due process. He wasn't an American citizen. He didn't use due process to come here. So screw that
And he
guy.
was an MS-13.
Right.
Now, he
Exactly
might not
right.
have been a leader of that chapter anymore, but he's still involved in a bunch of stuff.
Oh, absolutely. Well, if
He just wasn't running the gang.
Even if he's not
chapter.
involved, John, he had been involved in some stuff that's pretty
He's
bad.
getting what he deserves.
And he needs to go.
Karma come back and got him.
Right, exactly.
But that man ain't no angel.
I'm just tired of hearing that these people are getting no due process. Well, they never used due process to come to begin with. So why should they
citizens.
deserve due process to get kicked out?
You
Simple
want
as that.
due process, go over the border, come over, fill out some paperwork. We'll give you your due process and
Right.
say yay or nay.
Or go make $5 million and buy that golden ticket that Trump's telling everybody about. And that's the way to do it. We don't want the gang killers and rapists and stuff. We want the best of the best to come to America. So if you're a gangbanger in El Salvador and for some odd reason you're watching us, don't come here. We don't want you here. Not even in Philadelphia do we want you here. But if you're a brain surgeon...
I wouldn't mind Martha's Vineyard. If you want to go somewhere, go to Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah, I hear that's nice. Yeah.
That's really nice. You know, the illegals, run right to Martha's Vineyard. That's a good place for you.
And Obama's got a big mansion in Hawaii. He says you guys can come visit anytime you want.
Yes.
Mike's there right now.
So, we've probably been on a long time, huh? Long show.
Well, it's been a while. We
We had to say a lot of things in a short amount of time. What are we at, 35 minutes?
we've been
42 minutes?
We've been away for a minute.
Can't see it.
Oh shit! Where's my glasses? I ain't wearing
Where's my
glasses.
glasses?
Oh, Shelly got
What's it
glasses.
say?
And she can't function. Oh, come on.
Well, the girls can't read it because their eyes are so bad. But we're going to cut her. Anything else we got to talk about that we forgot?
Only thing is, our show's probably going to be a little sporadic here for the next couple months with.
Well, I'm starting to hopefully start feeling better, and I'll get more guests.
But I'm
in.
going to be on the road some. I'll be home a couple times a month and whatnot, and we'll be able to take care of business. But
I'll get some other guys to fill in.
well, I'm hoping to avoid that as much as possible. There'll be times where I'm in during the week, and we'll figure out it. I'll let you know.
I got to write a prescription.
Yeah, for what?
These people out here.
Oh,
'Cause
my God.
they don't know anything unless they get a prescription.
You-
Quit watching the mainstream media news and believing all the lies.
Give them another one to get their head out
It's
of their ass.
bullshit. Watch Rumble. There's a lot of good podcasts on
Absolutely.
there. And get on Rumble, start watching some other guys like us. They're telling you the truth. We're not
Right.
lying. We're not making this shit up.
We got no horse in this race. We just want our country.
We are doing this so because people don't even know about it. These are things we think are simple that people never heard about.
I want my grandchildren to grow up in the same country I grew up in. And I was lucky enough, John, too. We grew up with Ronald Reagan as our president. And it was great to be an American.
There's your prescription. From
And that's
Dr.
what I
John.
want. I don't want Americans to be spied on, and the whole division thing needs to go away, which was brought on by President Obama. I mean, I don't care who you are, you got to admit that. But I just want America to stay America. Simple as that.
Yes.
And I love the Gulf of America. Fuck Mexico.
So, I'm Dr. John. I'm Len. Thanks for watching. We'll get one on, another show on, and hopefully next week.
John keeps it straight, making sure it's tight. Together they're a force. A podcast duo so fly.
Shut up, Chuck.
Reaching for the sky.